Good morning, good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We are in day 24 of our Practicing for Halloween art journal. And this is my way, if you haven't already been here, this is my way of, I don't do my pages and my layouts ahead of time, but I am practicing techniques and I am stamping some stuff on like huge sheets that I could cut apart as I see fit, where I want them, whatever. I'm going to stamp them on cream, white, and orange, hoping that will encompass everything I need for next month in my Halloween journal, which is actually a book report. That one was smeared, so we're starting over, so we're going after this a different way. I actually started using a different ink because the one that I have, I think, is drying a little bit, and it's not a dark black, so I went to an archival one. And that seemed to do the trick for the time being. And these are all the same company, same sheet, so they're all the same level. I have learned that lesson the hard way. Sometimes if you try to do like multiple stamps like this, if they're different companies, they're not all the same level, and therefore not everything stamps at the right pressure. Ask me how I know that. But anyhow, I discovered that I am on a soft, like a big, huge craft table. So I decided to get a hard book, and I needed a hard surface to get a clearer image. So I got that. There's a lot going on here. I'm so scatterbrained, more than normal. I'm so thrilled that I did find these stamps though yesterday, because I was going to be sad if I didn't have all these labels and everything else, even if they're tiny, tiny specks and don't make a huge appearance in my book report. My journal for next month, if you don't already know, is going to be a book report on a book for Halloween. And I'm doing this because I have done tons and tons of children's scrapbooks and adult scrapbooks, and I don't want to do any more. Our life is just a whole lot less happening, and I'm not going to set myself up to go to a hayride so that I can do a scrapbook. So I decided to do book reports, and I'm doing this a lot, or making up my own stories in everything I do just about anymore. Just because I hate this word, but that's the season of life we're in. There's that other ink that I think is drawing, the distress ink on the side. Plus it's distress, so it's not a full black image. Anyhow, there's something blowing in the air right now that's giving me some grief in my sinuses a tiny bit, and I was just outside. So anyhow, so I know I want labels. Even if I don't use them, I can use them on something else, and they can, how do you grow a paper pile if you don't do stuff that you don't need? So anyhow, I've said that 1,000 times today, I think. Anyhow, so I did this. I actually, in real life, played for like an hour stamping different things and getting the ink the way I wanted it. And I came up with the idea of getting one of my stamp containers, which is one of those little cartridges right there where you see the stamps going into. And I'm going to take these stamps with me to the beach. And that way, if I do decide to stamp them on purple paper rather than, I don't have any white ink, and that might be one thing I do buy. There's a great scrapbook shop down at the beach. It's called Scrapping at the Beach, I think. It's on the way to our beach house, and I pass it, although I'll have the dog. Rats. I might can squeeze in a real quick, depending on how hot it is, trip to the scrapbook store on the way in. Anyhow, so, I lost my train of thought. I need white ink because I want to stamp on black paper. I have not done that ever. I think that would be fun. Anyhow, so, I do know the overall theme to my journal for next month. My book report is going to be grungy, rusty, and crusty, and grungy. And a lot of black, a lot of brown, but not like a sepia, but like a semi-spooky. I had to go to the other side of this one too and just do one at a time because the ink was smudging still. But this is where I started in archival, and I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be. But anyhow, and I also try to make some of the circles that Allie Edwards has for her Christmas kits. I don't know if she has one in her Halloween one. The Story by the Month, which is the club that I belong to, um, had some in it this month, and I didn't think I would like them, but in person I kind of like them, but not enough to buy her entire kit to get a couple circles. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do my own, which I have acetate, I have cardstock, I have stamps. I the only thing is my sewing machine is way too. It's an expensive machine, and I do not want to stitch on acetate with it. So I tried to glue it, it won't stay. So here's my little stamp kit going to the beach, putting it in the stack that's going to the beach. I think I'm going to have 3 trips to the beach to get it all in my car. It's going to take 3 trips. But anyhow, not true, but it is going to, I'm glad we already took a load down there. And I labeled a second drawer, Tim Holtz and Ranger drawer number 2. So that's where they are, Kurtie. That's where they are. Kurtie takes care of me on this channel. When I can't find things, she knows exactly where they are. They're in my stamps for Tim Holtz will be in drawer number 2. There are some things in drawer number 1, but they're not the right ones for this. So anyhow, I decided what I'm doing here is trying to cut out some big circles. This is bigger than the 3-inch hole punch I have. And then I cut out a solid piece of acetate, and I'll just cut it in half. And this was just me experimenting, because next month I don't want to experiment. I want to know something's going to work when I'm in the swing of things. So here's where I thought I could just glue it, possibly, with just Yoo-Hoo glue. It's not working. I could hand sew them, but this paper is super thin, so I knew I needed to back it with something heavier. So I grabbed the first piece of white paper. Unfortunately, it was watercolor paper, which is expensive. So I'm like, all right, let's just do it. Just do it, lady. Anyhow, so I backed this one with watercolor paper. The rest will be white cardstock. When I come time to back them. But I think I do want to put a couple of these in my journal. I don't know, but I want to have the knowledge in my head on how to make them, so I don't stumble around during the month of October trying to film stuff and experiments. But I do know that I need to darken up this circle for Halloween. This is just that stack of paper that I'm working through to try to get rid of it, or make it so that it fits in my medium-sized pieces and my tiny pieces. And tomorrow is our granddaughter's 13th birthday. Ay. Anyhow, so my husband is going to the party that her mom is giving, and I don't have any connection with her, his kids, but I do have a lot of connection with our granddaughter. So she's coming to the beach one weekend during the month of October, and we'll celebrate her birthday with me there, which I already have her birthday presents. You want to hear something? That child loves Metallica. I think it's a phase. I'm like, how do you even know what Metallica is? I don't like Metallica, although it's I've listened to more of it lately because of her, and just listening to stuff on YouTube and everything. But anyhow, I got her another Metallica t-shirt because she only has one and she wears it all the time. So I got her another one. And she's getting an electric guitar for her birthday. It's used, but it's a decent one. And anyhow, I think she's getting guitar lessons. So we shall see. She might be the next female member of Metallica. Anyhow, she's getting a couple other things too. But anyhow, I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah. So anyhow, I have time tomorrow that I have to deal with the dog. So I am organizing my huge stack of paper. Not the stack of paper that I'm developing for Halloween or October. It is the rest of my paper. Anyhow, I have to organize it and clean it out. It's huge. And I've attempted to do it a couple times in the last 60 days, but I just haven't done it justice. And then I found another stack. So it's just unwieldy. And anyhow, so I'm just making more circles that I might be able to use with more acetate and sew these. If I'm going to sew some a little bit tomorrow, then I want to have them ready to go. So I might just end up sewing them with like cross stitch floss. I don't know. Anyhow, so that's for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.